Hey, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to Texas First, which is part of Just Sit in Your Space, which is part of Black Talk for Real Black People. And as we get on here today, we on this Texas First thing. I got on here early today, and this feels like it's getting to be my second job from Monday to Wednesday to get on these podcasts. As you can see, I got on my Stacey Abrams hat from 2022. And the real reason why I wear it is because it keeps me in the perspective of what I'm doing and what I'm trying to accomplish here. And it keeps me letting me know that I'm still doing the right thing. I'm still doing the right thing. And it's just one person here. So when you see me looking around, I'm trying to solve something, trying to make sure that my audio's coming out to the right place and that everything's lined up right now. I see it's clicking. I can see it going everywhere. I just can't hear it in my earpiece, but that's good. That's a good thing because I only need my earpiece on Wednesday nights. But just getting into the subject, man, let's go. I tried to deliver this once before and I got sidetracked. As you know, if something come up in the news, I'm going with it, and especially if it gets to me. Like I said this morning, I had to put that on. This young lady was talking about the pulpit, and basically what she was saying is how Black people lost the respect of the pulpit in Black churches. And I thought about what she was saying, and I have to ask that question to you. I'm gonna ask it tomorrow night when I get on with Pastor Riggins and Byron Glass. It's not gonna be the topic, but it's gonna be discussed tomorrow night. So if you want to get in on part 2, you're welcome to do that. Right now, we're going into the power of the governor. As I get into these comments, and I see people out there making comments on my posts and my videos, one of the things I see them saying constantly is, "You don't know what you're talking about," and they come back with a response, and I find out they don't know what they're talking about either. They tell you that you're supposed to be going to do research. And after you get through doing your research, you come back. Well, here's my comeback. Yes, they say I got a little bit behind me, so I understand where I'm at. This is not the headlines. This ain't about Tallarico and Gina Hinojosa. This is not about the slogans. This is not the noise. Let me tell you what a governor can do. The governor signs or vetoes bills. I need to get this out here because I want to make sure I get all this out. A governor can use a line item veto on budget bills. That means that he can go through that budget and he can, things that he does not want in the bill, he can veto it he has the authority. He can veto line item budgets in the budget. Legislature can override a veto, but it only takes with 2/3, but only with 2/3. That means it takes majority of them to override a veto by the governor. 2/3 vote, which almost never happens in the state of Texas. That's why the governor, Abbott, is able to do pretty much what he wants to do. The governor calls for special legislative sessions. Only the governor can do this. A special session forces lawmakers back to Austin. That means if they're working anywhere in the state of Texas or anywhere, the governor has the ability to bring them back and conduct state business. He can once he gets those lawmakers back to Austin, he can set the agenda he wants them to follow. It limits what he can work on, what they can work on. It can push priorities or fix unfinished business. They did this during the redistricting the maps. The governor sets emergency priorities. The governor can declare emergencies, mobilize state resources after disasters. He can send people to help during a disaster that nobody else can do within the state of Texas. Coordinate, and the next one says coordinate the disaster response, request federal aid. He can go to the president and request federal aid. FEMA, if it's anybody left that, you know, they, they are appointed by the man called president. If you have an accident or something, a storm or something, and we're known to have it on the south coast of Texas, he's the one that can request that information, request people to come down, request federal aid from the president, activate National Guard. That's another one that he has the ability to do. He can activate the Texas National Guard within the state of Texas if he can't get it handled any other way. The governor appoints leaders to powerful state boards and agencies. Let me tell you a list of what they are. He appoints the Secretary of State, the Public Utility Commission, the Texas Educational Agency Commissioner. So if you appoint them, and that's one of his weakest points in the state of Texas, is the Texas education of our kids. I'm just telling you the truth. I don't even want to get into politics here. I'm just telling you the truth. I'm just laying out the office of the governor. He can also appoint university regents for the university to represent the state of Texas. The Department of Safety, Public Safety, that's his department. Road repair in the state of Texas, and anywhere that you go on the Texas highways, that's his area. Commission on Environmental Quality. Real reason why I smile is because when I see that, when I hear that, I think about these data centers. And it says the Commission on Environmental Quality. So if you had the commission and you put them in place and you got a problem with what these data centers are doing, doesn't that kind of fall back on you to correct it? If they polluting the water, if the water coming out polluted, that they putting out back into the system, who's making the state, the cities have to pick up those bills, those cleaning bills, to turn that water back into suitable, be suitable for its citizens. I'm just asking. I mean, I'm not the smartest person here, but I don't mind doing research and helping the people out there need the help, because evidently it's a lot of y'all that need help out there. The Workforce Commission. That's another place that the governor's in charge of. Workforce. Getting people to work. Helping people find jobs and all the rest of that goes into that part of the Texas governor. So he takes part of the blame if jobs are not available in Texas. If you're not able to go to get a good job, he takes part of the blame. It's something. There's some other stuff that the Workforce Commission does, but that's just one of them. Board of Pardons and Paroles. Board of Pardons and Paroles. That's a key one, because when it comes time for people to come out of jail, he's over the board that sits on the panels. And there's so many other things that they're in control of that they just forget about how much power the governor has. So this show, I'm not trying to jump from other subjects and go here and go there. If I have an example, I'm gonna add it in, but I'm trying to go straight down the line and make it neutral so everybody can understand. And even if you're a Republican or a Democrat, I don't care. It's just that important, because we need to understand who we're voting for and who we're leaving in places of power. And the governor just happened to be one of those seats that's out there. So these agencies control schools, electricity, water, prisons, policing, environmental rules, business regulations, and higher education. Let me just say this. Appointments shape the entire direction of Texas. The governor also fills jurisdictional vacancies. District judge, appellate judges, the Texas Supreme Court of Justices. Not the Supreme Court, but the Texas Supreme Court justices within the state of Texas. These judges decide criminal cases, business disputes, voting rights, and what the state has the ability to do, what they can control and what they can't take away. So if you got a governor, a sitting governor, he pretty much within the state of Texas, he pretty much has the same power as the president inside the state of Texas. The governor commands the military forces within the state of Texas, the National Guard, I just spoke about, the State Guard, the activity for national disasters, because you have your federal, which is FEMA, and then you have your national natural disasters that come into place, and he activates those national disasters so FEMA can come in and help you. Border operations on the state of Texas borderline, which they try. Oh, I'm gonna stay neutral. Stay neutral, Ron. He operates border patrol along the state of Texas. Anytime there's a civil emergency, he's in control at that time within the state of Texas. Now, some of the things that a Texas governor can do, he can issue an executive order. He can direct the agencies under his control. He can set the policy and procedures for them to follow. Now, notice where the governor puts him in those positions, he can set the policies and procedures for them to follow. He's also the manager of emergencies. I'm sure there's somebody else that does it, but anytime there's an emergency, like, say, the shooting, that happened on his watch. The shooting happened on his watch. The flood killed all those kids, happened on his watch. I'm not saying he's responsible, but I'm just saying he controls he manages the emergency during those times. The governor grants clemency with limits. He can pardon. He can communicate sentences. He can offer reprieves with the recommendation from the Board of Parole, Pardons and Paroles. With recommendation. He can't just go out there and do it on his own, but he has to, with recommendations from the Board of Pardons and Paroles. The governor influences the state budget, works with legislative budget board. See, I want to break that down, but I don't think I want to go into that too much. I just want to leave it right there. He sets the priorities. He can vote specific spending items. That means that if he have two items on there that he really don't like, but he likes part of it, he can go in there and veto it. She can go in there and veto it. That's their right as a governor. They can specifically spending items, they can veto it. They can push agencies to shift resources, like if they within the state, if they need people and this agency has excessive amount of people, they can switch those people over to a different resource. A governor pretty much is like a president. They sit there, not he sits there. I'm gonna say she, because I'm looking for the governorship to change, and I want it to change. And everybody I talked to wanted to change. And the only people that don't want to change, and the only people that's fearful of a change, is the people that's coming in my comments. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna get back on track. The people that are coming in my comments don't even live in the state of Texas. What does that tell you? Most of them don't live here. I found one out of everybody I was responding to on the comment that don't even live here. And if you don't live here, You don't understand what's going on in Texas because people within Texas don't understand. That's the reason why I'm taking my time to do this show, because I need you to understand exactly what the governor's office does. I'm not trying to mention no politics. I'm not trying to mention no names, which I could, but I'm not. The governor shapes statewide political direction. He directs the messaging within the states, the donor priorities, the legislative agendas, the political movement, the long-term strategy. Redistricting fights. He's over there. He redistricting maps. He's over there. He puts it in place. He doesn't put it in place. They draw the maps. It goes to the legislator, and the legislator turns it over to him. He has the right to sign them if he don't. This is why the office matters so much. It controls everything. Why the governor, not anyone else, was asked to redraw the district. And this gets into why the president came and asked the governor, not the lieutenant governor, not everybody else in the down ballot. He asked the governor. This is a part you have been trying to explain to the people in your comment, in my comments. I've been trying to explain it to you. You guys don't get it. This is the part they keep arguing with you about. This is the part they do not understand. Because if you understood, you wouldn't have anything to argue with me about. A president asked the governor of Texas to redraw the districts. He didn't ask the lieutenant governor, not the attorney general, not the legislator. The governor, that tells you exactly where his power sits. Only the governor can call special sessions. Redistricting requires lawmakers to meet. Only the governor can force them back to office. And that's key. The governor can force them back to office. The governor sets the agenda in the special sessions. Lawmakers can only work what the governor lists, whatever list that the governor has prepared for them when they come back. If redistricting is not on the list, it cannot happen. So when Trump said, now I want to make sure, I said I wasn't going to call no names, but I need to do this to help you understand. When Trump said he wanted the maps redrawn, that's why he didn't call anybody else. That's why he wasn't worried about anybody else. He knew that he could go to the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, and Crooked Ken Paxton, and Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, and he knew that he could get it done. Well, let me tell you the opposite of that. If you put Gina Hinojosa in that place, she could tell him where to go. She could say, hell no, we ain't doing it. What he should have said, because if you're going to post a sign when you're coming into the state of Texas, don't mess with Texas, does that not? Oh, they can mess with Texas, but they can mess with Texas, but the governor is immune to that sign. The lieutenant governor is immune to that sign. Everybody else is immune to that sign because under the Republican regime, you can mess with Texas. It's been proven. The governor sets the agenda. That's all I can say. The governor signs or vetoes the final map. Even if the legislature draws the lines, the governor signs the bill. He can veto the bill. He can block the bill. He can demand changes to what's already there if he don't like the way the map looks, or somebody convince him of how the map looks and who it favors in certain areas. He can ask for the redistricting of that portion to favor them more. The governor is the executive authority of the state. When the national leadership wants something done at state level, let me tell you, I already told you, they call the governor because he controls the agencies below him. The emergency powers, legislative triggers, yeah, that's the governor. No other office has that combination. Governor is a political center of Texas. National leaders call him, donors pressure him, parties rely on him. Media forces on him. Media focuses, let me just say, I read that wrong. I'm going to tell you again. And I want to make sure that I don't miss any of the stuff that the governor has the ability to do, or else I'm no better than anybody else. The media focuses on him in the state of Texas. We knew that already. Look at Gina Hinojosa. Until her numbers got closer, you wasn't seeing her as much. But now you're seeing her everywhere. And I said this, and I'm going to pat myself on the back. I said, James Tallarico need to bring Gina Hinojosa on board because he's already got a person that he's running against that's been conceded the race. I'm going to say it again. Ken Paxton has all but conceded the race to James Tallarico. Republicans, did you get that message? Okay, I'm getting back. You're not arguing. I'm not here to argue theory. I'm just pointing to a point of truth, and that's where I'm going to. And that was truth that I just told. Ken Paxton has conceded the race to Tallarico. Y'all, he ain't said it, but nobody's putting money behind him to promote him. He's not running any ads, and everywhere that he shows up, the media is showing up. He won't debate the lieutenant. He won't debate James Tallarico. Oh, y'all didn't know that? And I'm not saying James Tallarico probably would be the best debater against a lawyer. But if he won't do that, you done conceded. Call it what you want to call it. Tallarico doesn't have a race. It's his to win. It's almost like running a track race. If the person falls down at the first or second hurdle, they have to get back up. And I don't see Ken Paxton in a get back up mode, especially when the media is trying to find all kind of stuff that he's done. Hell, he does it every day. But one of the things that he might be good in, he's too scared to face it because of the questions he may be asked about his past. The legislative branch of Texas is what saved Ken Paxton. Oh, what do you mean? The lieutenant governor sits over the legislative branch of Texas, or Ken Paxton would have been out. Let me just share this because I'm gonna say it and I'll try to take the middle approach, but I can't take it. To me, I see a pattern developing in the Republican Party. Either you're gonna be convicted of something, accused of something, before people recognize who you are. They have, and you might say, where did that pattern come from? Well, we got a president that's a 34-count convicted criminal. And somebody today, within my comments, say, those are all misdemeanors. I don't know. Some people you just can't save. You can't save them all. It's no way in the world that you can save a person that won't do the research on their own, but they can make comments and it just lets you know what type of people that you deal with in your comments. Golly. The president did not call for any of those other offices to redistrict the map. He called the governor. That is the kind of detail that ends debates, not because you said it, not because he said it, because when he said it, it happened. So who runs Texas? Why you running around here talking about I'm a proud Republican? You're a proud Republican, but you don't have nobody that's looking out for your best interest in the state. So if you don't vote for somebody else to change that narrative, you're voting against your own best interest. It's as clean and as short as it's undeniable that people can reach their hand into Texas and tell Texas what to do. And Governor Abbott is sitting right there. Yes, sir. Ha ha, sir. Where, sir? Tell me what to do next, sir. Obvious. It's right there. You know, what I tried to do is reveal the structure itself. The hierarchy revealed itself by me going through the process of telling you what the governor is. The power that he has revealed itself. Not the imagined power, not the power that y'all giving them in the comments, but the power that a governor actually can do. We don't even have to debate it. Not that my cousin said power, that his power is based on this and that and the other. No, I'm putting it out here today, trying to stay neutral. But every once in a while, I have to go in the weeds. Because the governor is the only person in Texas who can call a special session, set the agenda, trigger the legislative machinery, sign or veto a final map, coordinate the agencies, move the statewide apparatus. Yeah, he does that. No other office has that combination, that power. This is why the request went to him from the president. That is the difference between someone who reacts and someone who understands the system. This is where we stop arguing. Because it's in black. It's in black and white if you just follow it. This is where the governor's power becomes undeniable. I'm just putting some stuff out there. The governor's office holds Texas' future. So if you like, and I'm gonna jump here. I'm going here, and I'm trying to stay on the time frame. So if you like billionaires getting more fair representation and the everyday people taking scraps as they fall off the table, keep doing what you're doing. If you like seeing hardworking people killed on the streets in unmarked cars by your government, keep voting the same way. Remember, those tables can turn as black people. Keep voting the same way. Another thing that's on the agenda is I see a lot of people commenting comment on my videos and stuff like that. But you know what happens when I look up their names and I go to their pages and stuff? I don't see billionaire on it. I don't see them on the Forbes 500 list. But if they in the state of Texas, what happens is they become free labor. When they're in detention, they're going to eventually get to free labor in the detention centers. They're not there yet. What's holding them back? What's holding them back? I'm just looking at myself in my bottom screen. No names, just facts, just structure, just consequences, just the reality of how power moves when the people ignore the office that shapes the entire direction for the state. And you might say, why did I sit up? I'm done. I told you this ain't gonna be long. This is just gonna be direct and to the point. If you're out there listening to me right now, and you want to know what the governor's office does within the state of Texas and the power that it has, and the real reason why we should be voting for Gina Hinojosa to take over the governorship, because I just seen it and I want to pull it up. I don't want to miss it. I know that I seen it and I say, my God, my God. Do you know that as we go to, as he's been in office, we haven't had a single day of peace? Do you know that Governor Abbott is shutting down Texas public schools? That's what they're doing. Texas public schools can't afford another 4 years of Greg Abbott. And you say, well, Ron, how does that matter? I'm going to tell you how it matters. Because I grew up in a public school system. My education was free. What happens if they take all the school system and put it up on the charter system? And it's no public education. That means that the state is not responsible for educating the kids anymore. It means that the state is not responsible for educating kids no more. Let that sink in. While Greg Abbott's been in office, 140 Texas public schools have closed in the last 3 years. So if you can't seek a public education, or you're not a billionaire where you can afford to send your kids across the pond, anywhere else that you want to send them, how would a normal child get an education? Oh, it's a charter school system, you say. Okay. I see them closing too. I'm trying to get there. This is key. Governor Abbott says he has a plan to make Texas public schools the best in the nation. How can you say that when you're closing them all down? I believe in action. I don't believe in you just putting out words, because now it's close to time for the election. Now all this stuff is shifting. Them data centers, yeah, they're going to shift to after this election. When you find out that you're down, oh, he was big. He was in the big boy seat about 2 or 3 months ago. I'm glad people are starting to hold him accountable for his actions. He can't run away from him. Hell, he was the governor. Who was responsible for Texas? I just got through telling you who is responsible for Texas. And if who is responsible for Texas is the governor's office, and if he doesn't like what the legislator brings to his table, he has the right to veto it. Just saying. I want to make sure that I'm not missing anything. Let me go here, and I'm gonna get out of here. I'm not staying here long. Let me just say this, and I want to make sure I'm looking into the camera. I don't care how much time I spend on this podcast. I don't care how many other political podcasts that you watch. If you don't get out and vote, you're going to get what you get, and that's going to be Abbott and Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick in office. Everybody needs to get out and vote. My Hispanic brothers and sisters, my Black brothers and sisters, the uncommitted voters that's out there, we need to get you registered and voting to turn Texas blue. They're out there, they're running scared. I'm telling you, they're running scared because they know if they combine those three things, you know what happens? They're no longer the majority. They're the minority. Those three things, those three groups of people get out and vote in numbers across the state of Texas. I've seen the Hispanic vote for Tallarico. I done seen the black supporters come out in favor of Jasmine Crockett. We need to get those people that's in the middle. We need to be persuading people to come out and vote like their life depended on it. Because if we can get those people that's undecided on which side they want to be on, where they're going and where their vote is, and they always saying my vote don't count, that's the reason why I don't participate, give them a reason to participate. HISD should be a strong reason in the Texas area for you to participate. Even in the Dallas area, your school system should be a strong enough reason for you to participate. All across Texas should have that same mindset. Especially, let me just, I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna get out of here. All across Texas, there are people in offices that don't look like you. There are people in the mayor's office that don't look like you. There's people in the down ballot that don't look like you, the representation of the people that they serve. You have a chance to change all of that. That family that's been in power in that small town, and it just seems like you can't get rid of them, you can't do anything. This is your chance to change that. One last thing, and I'm out of here. I'm gonna stop sounding like a Baptist preacher. I gotta give my boy Chuck Roach some dap. I want to salute him. Chuck, I saw you. I saw you. I saw you out there, Chuck. I saw what you said. I saw what you said it's gonna take to win. And you're absolutely right. Can't do nothing but support you, Chuck Roach. But get some of that money from that person that hired you out of New York City. Have them start investing in Gina Hinojosa. She might be 1 point ahead of him right now. And if you could turn Texas blue, it sure makes their job a lot easier in 2028. Put that money in Texas. That's all I'm gonna say. I want to say thank God, thank God, thank God. I always end my podcast like that. I want to say I said it and I mean it. I always said it since day one. Thank God. Whew. If it wasn't for God, we wouldn't be here. And thank you, God, because you heard my prayers. You changed me in a way that I thought I could never be convinced to change. But now I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Everything that I was complaining about is turning around. Everything I was complaining about is turning around. I can see the light. I almost broke out in song. Y'all take care. Have a great Texas first day. Have a great Texas first day. Take care. Bye-bye.